One of the reasons why I am so very passionate about the United Way campaign and the United Way itself is because it does fund several organizations within the city that came to my aid when I needed it. And those organizations are life-changing. Several years ago, I was involved in a very abusive relationship, and I remember the second time that I had gone to stay in a women's shelter, a woman in the shelter had told me, if you don't leave, he's going to kill you. And I remember thinking, actually I remember telling her, no, he won't. He won't. He loves me. It was only 3 short weeks after that where my ex-husband drove me out to a deserted country road, and he assaulted me with a baseball bat. I was rescued by a postal worker, oddly enough. I didn't think I was going to survive, but by some miracle I did. Getting away from him was the easy part. It may not seem like that, but it was the easy part. Getting well and healthy again was an uphill battle. The women's shelter had a domestic violence program that you could take, which I did, and without that program, I don't know whether or not I would have been able to stay away. I don't know whether or not I would have been able to have the strength to move forward and not continue to run back to what I knew and what I was comfortable with.
I have 2 daughters, Taylor and Jordan, and Taylor is 8 years old. We first realized that Taylor had some concerns when she was about 1. She wasn't walking, crawling, and she was actually really scared to do normal baby things. I realized that she was really sensitive to sound and touch, and honestly, we didn't know where to turn. We were put in touch with the Early Childhood Intervention Program, who then accepted Taylor into the program. We were then given an interventionist, and the great part about that is that Robin became an extension to our family. She came into our home and worked with Taylor from basically age 2 to 5. And she'd come in every 2 weeks and work with her, set goals with us to allow Taylor to be able to cope with everyday activities, simple things that she struggled with, like crossing streets or going shopping. And that was so comforting because in so many different programs, you have to go out and take the child out of their home. And when you have a child with anxiety, those situations can be so stressful. So having that safety for her to be able to do her therapy at home with the same interventionist and build that relationship is definitely invaluable.
I have 2 sons who are now 32 and 35. With my 32-year-old son, when he was very young, we were moved from Winnipeg to Saskatchewan, to a small town. And at that particular point in time, we began to realize that my son was not at reading level. I was working in the school system and thought that I knew what was going on with my own children's education. Felt that my husband and I, who are both very avid readers, would know the signs that our child wasn't up to par, but you're busy parents and you overcompensate, and we would read the story or his brother would read the story. And my son was fortunate enough to have a teacher who was 64, and she was from the old school. And she picked up right away that he wasn't at reading level. And she had committed to us that she would teach him how to read with the old phonetic way. And I wasn't sure that I was all about that, but she was a gift to us to teach him how to read. And watching him, once he learned how to read, opened so many doors for him. You could just see him blossom as he learned to read better each and every day.
Without those funding dollars, a lot of those programs wouldn't be able to exist. So I am forever grateful for the work that the United Way does and in how they distribute those funds throughout the city.
Do you know what your donation looks like? It looks like me.
It looks like me.
It looks like me.